Welcome back, YouTube. My name is Nigel Schroeter, and today I am here to give you guys some more information on something that I recently found out that you will never get Navy Federal Credit Union, or at least I did not get Navy Federal Credit Union to tell me over the phone. All right. So you guys know I like to give you guys the best inside tips and tricks with Navy Federal, as well as overall with finances and credit. Today I'm here to tell you guys something that I just recently ran into that could potentially cause you some minor setbacks, but I'm going to tell you how you can avoid this setback by learning from my mistake, and simply learn from my mistake, and then you'll never have to face it on your end. So let me get into what exactly happened. So this year I said, you know what? Investing in real estate, like anything else, you want to diversify. You want to have real estate in multiple markets, and more importantly, you want to have real estate that you can bank on in the event of a catastrophe happening where you currently live, that you'll be able to have a sort of safe haven somewhere else. So I decided this year that I was going to ensure that for myself and my family by investing in some international property. Now, when I chose to invest in international property, I started doing some due diligence and learning some information about somewhere that I could go that would be one, culturally tied to my family. Two, I would know people that are there, even though it's outside the United States. Three, it would be safe for Americans, as of course myself and my children, having grown up here, we're going to have, American accent, dialect, all that good stuff. So I didn't want to be somewhere where they could potentially be in danger, or I could potentially put myself in danger. Four, I wanted an English-speaking country as my first international country in doing business, as I felt that investing in something internationally, I wanted to be able to communicate with people myself, so that I wouldn't be trying to navigate the system with translators and things of that such, and at least I can read through my own contracts and ensure that what I'm getting is what I'm asking for. Okay. So in doing all this, of course, like I said, I had to do my due diligence. I went to that country. Well, one thing about this particular country is it's extremely hard to open a bank account, especially for someone who does not live in that country. Even if they are a citizen of that country, they make it hard to open a bank account there, and you have to physically be present to open a bank account. Now, when I was physically present in the bank account, physically present there to open a bank account, I wasn't able to open a bank account because I didn't have all of the documents necessary to open up a bank account. So what I decided was, okay, when I get back, I've done my due diligence. I've gotten a good real estate agent. I know the areas that I'd want to invest in, as well as I know some law firms that are in the area, and some people that are in the area that can cross check and make sure that things are on the up and up for me. So for myself, like I said, it just made it so much easier for me to say, okay, I'm more comfortable with this transaction, and let's go ahead and start going through with the transaction. So here's what we did. I found some different properties. I went back, I researched those properties. I found a very good realtor. When it got time to go to Navy Federal, the realtor sent me over some wire. The realtor sent me to a lawyer. The lawyer sent me over some wiring paperwork for sending an international wire. Well, right now, international real estate is getting really popular. especially amongst Americans, and we've had so many different political things that I'm not going to really get in or set any opinion on, but it's a big area for scammers and fraud. Now, like I said, I'd already cross-checked my people that I'm using and gone through everything to get an understanding, just as well as this particular country does business a little bit different than the U.S. So I knew that there were certain things that may appear to be discrepancies in the States, but aren't in this country. So I called Navy Federal and they kind of said, we discourage you doing international wire transfers. However, we will do one if you approve it. Do you have the information? So I gave them the wire information that I received from the lawyer. And the first time they said, we understand that your information came directly from the lawyer, but we want you to call them back and just verify the information. So I called them back, verified the information. Everything's good. Okay, cool. Because I guess they said that people have been getting fake attachments, as well as been getting sent multiple wiring account information. So when these scammers are setting stuff up, they may send you one account that is the actual lawyer, and then they may send you another one following up that says, hey, I'm so sorry, we accidentally sent you this. We need you to send the money to this account. Or they may send you two fictitious accounts, but at least, that way it kind of throws you off a little bit more because you will wire the money into one of the two fictitious accounts. So in this case, like I said, I know I'm dealing with a legitimate lawyer. It's just a matter of getting the money to them. Well, Navy Federal is one of the largest financial institutions in our country, right along with Chase. And so Chase can essentially be seen as competition for Navy Federal. And what happened was the bank that my lawyer uses Chase as an intermediary. Navy Federal uses Wells Fargo as an intermediary. Little do I know. So when I go to do the wire transfer, it won't work because the sending bank, if they already have an intermediary to send international, is not going to allow you to put in a second intermediary. So you can only use their intermediary, which is Wells Fargo. So the banker that I spoke with on the phone with Navy Federal, both times that I tried to send the wire transfer, they would not tell me this. Rather, they knew the information or not. They were not telling me this, so it was just never lining up with being able to send the money, because they're saying, hey, well, the big codes are off, the Swift code's off, you're not going to be able to send money. This account information doesn't match up. So I ended up going into a branch. When I went into a branch dealing with a personal banker, we sat down, I showed her what information I had, what I was doing, and showed her some other documents to kind of leave her assured that I, had a good understanding of what I was doing and who I was dealing with. So then she's like, okay, well, here's the thing. If you look at the form, it shows you here that our intermediary is Wells Fargo. It's not going to allow you to use Chase as an intermediary. So you're going to have to send through us directly to that bank, and we will just use Wells Fargo automatically as an intermediary. You can't put in an intermediary when doing international wire transfers with Navy Federal. So after all that was all said and done, I was actually able to get the wire transfer set up and sent over to the lawyer. And everything was worked out in a matter of a couple minutes. But just remember that if you're ever sending a wire transfer for any reason internationally with Navy Federal, that the intermediary bank is automatically going to be Wells Fargo. So you only give them the receiving international bank's information. If you give them whatever intermediary bank is listed on there, the Swift code is not going to match up, because banks use abbreviated Swift codes for particular financial reasons when doing wires. And so the bank is only going to give you an abbreviated big code. They're not going to give you the full Swift code typically when you're doing an international transfer. So you're not going to be able to place them in there as an intermediary. You're only going to get the full information for the receiving bank, which is what's going to be important to get the funds where you want them to go. Now, with that being said, as I hope that this video, as always, with any video I post, helps out someone and gives you all information that you may not have known. And if you know somebody or you found this video helpful, make sure that you subscribe and share these videos out with others so that they can benefit from this. As always, don't forget to like the video before you leave. Comment, let me know about anything that you learned or you'd like to add to this, or you may want to see in a future video. And we will see you guys in the next video.